If you're hunting for a job and not having luck, you're not imagining it. It's actually getting harder to find a job now.
15 million new jobs in just 3 years, a record.
Mr. Musk said the company would look to reduce headcount by around 10%.
The layoffs are already piling up this year, and we're just a few weeks.
Remember the good old days when you can land a job right out of the school? You can work there until you retire and depart with a gold watch and pension. Well, those days are dead as disco. And no one seems to care. Is job security still a thing? Job security has become extinct. And although people mourn the loss, employers should be equally concerned. However, in a world dominated by gig economy, working 2 or more jobs at the same time or sharing their expertise with a range of organizations and the agony of regular employment is met with a collective shrug. This was especially true before the COVID-19 outbreak, but it is even clearer now. On the one hand, we're all beginning to see cracks in the ideals, namely that there are some jobs out there that are not immune to layoffs. However, we are becoming increasingly aware of that nothing lasts forever. The days of the job for life are largely in the past. Few people under the age of 50 will spend their whole working lives with a single employer, let alone 2 or 3. Continuous stable employment with a single business is becoming increasingly difficult to find, especially for those who are new to the labor market. In reality, people who have entered the workforce since the global recession of 2008 may have more than 10 different occupations before retiring, and they will most likely have more than one at once. The actual problem is that today's workforce has exchanged long-term security for short-term jobs and pensions for piecemeal paychecks. The present employment environment is a carnival of contract work, with workers juggling many jobs like clowns to keep their careers afloat. It's a circus performance that is neither entertaining nor sustainable. Meanwhile, employers appear to be enjoying the show, unaware that their revolving door of temporary employees is causing more harm than good. But let's be real. When was the last time a freelancer felt free while pursuing outstanding invoice? The only viable aspect of the gig economy is the inventive ways in which workers make ends meet. It's like a yoga class for your financial account, continuously stretching to cover rent, food, and the odd night out. This so-called flexibility is a corporate fairy tale spun to make the loss of job stability appear like a gift. You might have heard, be your own boss for many influencers. Sure, but being your own boss also entails being your own human resources manager, accountant, and debt collector. It's all fun and games until you realize your employer is a dictator who forces you to work weekends and holidays. Oh, that's you. Meanwhile, companies are left with a rotating roster of temporary employees who barely have time to acquire a workplace Wi-Fi password before their contract expires. The onboarding process becomes a never-ending cycle of introductions, training sessions, and forgotten names. Welcome to our team. What's your name? Here's a temporary desk and a laptop that may or may not function. Sure, hiring temps saves money on benefits and long-term commitments, but it also requires continual onboarding and a workforce that is about as loyal as a cat. And if you think cats are loyal, try telling that to the one who is clawing your couch and disregarding the costly scratching posts you purchased. And uncertainty about where your next income will come from is not good for your mental health. It is difficult to plan for the future when the present is so uncertain. In Indonesia, where family and community are paramount, the uncertainty of gig employment can strain relationships and social institutions. So, while the gig economy may appear to be a land of milk and honey for those at the top, it is more of a mirage in a desert for the workers on the ground. The illusions of flexibility is exactly that, a delusion. And unless we address the root causes, both employees and employers will continue to suffer. Let's address the elephant in the room. We were all thinking about it. Isn't this problem primarily because of the millennial job hoppers? Millennials, the avocado toast eating, Instagram filter obsessed generations that's purposely destroying everything from chain eateries to diamonds. They've also been accused of destroying job security, but here's a twist. They didn't eliminate it. They simply adapted to its demise. Millennials in Indonesia and elsewhere are changing jobs not because they are impulsive, but because they must. Let's be honest, millennials don't wake up every day thinking, gee, I can't wait to update my LinkedIn profile again. They are navigating a world filled with short-term contracts, few benefits, and a constant nature of layoffs. If their grandparents were able to stay on one job until retirement, it was because it did not include the caveat. Position may be terminated at the whim of corporate restructuring. Employers complain about the lack of loyalty, but let's look at the underlying costs. When employers regard their people as disposable commodities, it's no surprise that labor responds. The statement, "we're like family," is often used. Yet, last I looked, family members aren't laid off to enhance quarterly profits, unless you are from a severely dysfunctional family. Now do we get any benefit after submitting to this charade? In the tremendous race to minimize expenses, many corporates have slashed employee benefits. Pensions? A relic from the past. Health insurance? Better start saving those pennies. Paid vacations? Only if you consider unemployment. Worldwide corporations have jumped in this bandwagon with delight, frequently using economic insecurity as an excuse to cut benefits to the bone. But here's the catch. While businesses may save money in the short term, they are losing talents in the long run. The finest and brightest will not remain around for a job that provides nothing but a paycheck. But as workers, what can we do? First, let's cope with the psychological pressure and the stress of living in perpetual insecurity. That sounds like a joke, although it isn't. According to research, living with job insecurity, or the dread of losing your work, might be more detrimental to your health than actually losing it. However, maintaining a cheerful attitude can make a significant difference. Not everyone responds the same way to job instability. Your home life, readiness to adjust to change, and financial circumstances differ from those of your coworkers. So, don't expect to feel or react the same way they do. They'll deal with stress in their own unique way. If you're worried about your job, consider saying this: whenever one door closes, another opens. Living in uncertain times can be uncomfortable, but you have a choice over how you react to it. If you have marketable abilities, you will have a lot to offer potential employers if you are laid off. Keep your abilities relevant and up to date. Your present employer may invest in your growth, but if you want to widen your skill set and appeal to a wider range of companies, you need to study new skills on your own time. In today's work environment, the technological abilities required might swiftly alter. Develop your interpersonal skills, often known as soft talents. If your lack of job security is the result of a decrease in demand of your technical talents, take a different strategy. What else can you do, and how can you build job security? Many of us avoid discussing our accomplishments because we don't want to boast. Consider this: if you don't tell your supervisor how terrific you are or what you're capable of, they may be unaware of your abilities. By discussing your accomplishments, you keep people informed of your value. You can also ensure that potential new employers or clients understand what you can provide by highlighting your achievements when you update your LinkedIn profile. Consider the modern workplace, a jungle where benefits formerly thrived like exotic flowers. It is now a barren wasteland where employees scavenge for a bit of health insurance and drink from the trickle of their retirement funds. Employers appear to believe that a football table and a free coffee can replace a good health plan and a safe pension. They cannot. Some startups and a few thoughtful companies excel at just the opposite. The attractiveness of these companies isn't simply the modern office spaces or casual dress code. It is the comprehensive benefits that makes employees feel respected and safe. If you approach your employees as cost rather than an asset, don't be shocked when they leave at the first opportunity. Employees, it is time to demand better. You deserve more than just a paycheck. You deserve a profession that offers both stability and advancement. Employers, remember that a happy, secure workforce is your most valuable asset. It's past time for us all to recognize that job security is more than a sentimental concept. It's the foundation of a strong economy and a contented society. Because if we don't, we'll end up in unstable jobs, struggling to make ends meet while regretting the loss of something we didn't work hard enough to keep. So, let's put an end to the collective shrugs and start making real progress. After all, a stable job today leads to a stronger business tomorrow. Will you work a long time for a company without benefits? Tell us in the comments. If you like this video, make sure to check out our other videos. Feel free to subscribe for more intriguing content. Please let us know if you found the video useful, and we'll see you in the next one.